This episode of the Brilliance plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the S.P.R.I.N.G formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey, and my kitty, Princess Alessandra, is being frisky, but she's sitting now, so maybe we'll be in a better place. Hey, the beauty of podcasting is that it's a meta experience. It's not a Hollywood quality production. And in fact, as I share with people through my Reach system, these are the things that make it more interesting. If you have movies you like to watch, sometimes they'll have a blooper reel or a behind the scenes or what was left on the cutting room floor. And some of that stuff can be pretty interesting. So you all just saw a piece of it, and we're going to leave it in so that you have something to tell your grandkids. Anyway, my name is Adam Homey. I'm your host. I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Terri Di Mauro, known as, you're going to love this, the RelationChick. Terri is a published author and relationship coach who focuses on getting people through the process of developing healthy connections with themselves and others. A longtime mental health advocate and always the go-to for advice, she has launched her coaching services with the hopes of sharing her insights with as many people as possible, today, including you. Her ultimate goal is to show people how to love themselves and start living the positive lives they deserve. So with that, Terri Di Mauro, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Adam. Lovely to be here and always enjoy the blooper kitty reels.
Yes. Okay, so this first question we normally ask people, sometimes it gets partially either answered or at least presaged in the introduction, depending on what you guys want me to say about you, which is fine because it gives us an opportunity to develop it further. Overall, how does the work that you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and society at large?
Yeah, I absolutely love that question. And the work that I do with clients makes their own world better because I help them to remove the toxic relationships from their lives. And I work with them to help them put the best version of themselves forward. So this in turn is going to make the world a better place overall, as it's going to remove some of the negativity that we encounter daily and replace it with more positivity and happiness and just people who are in a better spirit and mood all around.
Yeah, and I think that, I've done work and research in areas like resonance repatterning, inherited traumas, and I think you'll be familiar with the idea that if you're ever having an argument with your significant other or you're trying to figure out why it is you just can't connect with your mother after all these years, it's most likely, not in all cases, but most likely a rehash of something that happened between your great-great-grandparents that's been subtly handed down through 100 little indicators that don't just spell out in neon lights, we are dysfunctional.
I love that. Yes.
And Steve Wilkos, of all people, said all families are dysfunctional, including his. And this is a guy who he's super dad, but he'll even tell you his family's full of dysfunction. So, and one of the altruistic premises of his somewhat controversial television show is helping people actually get past traumas.
Right.
That's actually part of the work. So there's an altruistic side to that. You could even say Jerry Springer does it when he's doing some of the episodes. When he's not bringing on the people with the hoods and what have you, but who knows? Yeah, the thing is and I think people find this stuff entertaining, because at a visceral level, they can actually relate to it. They can
Mhm.
say, yeah, I know. That's us too. They just don't want to say it. And this is part of what I love doing as a podcast host myself and helping other people launch your podcasts is, Terri, you become the voice of
Right.
people who may not be in a position where they fully understand how to vocalize it, or they may not feel they're in surroundings where they can comfortably vocalize it. But if they can point to you as having said it, now they can say it. So that's
Yes.
part of the power that I think we bring to the world. Now, what exactly is it that you do?
Okay, so my title is a relationship coach, and I help people who are ready to, kick toxic habits and relationships to the curb. And I do that by guiding them through the process of establishing healthy and positive connections. Now, I do that first for themselves and then through people in their lives. So I do offer, the one-to-one coaching and books and that sort of thing. But really what I'm trying to get at is to have people first take that inward journey and really understand themselves. It's exactly like you were just saying, we do have these generational traumas that we don't have neon signs for. And so it
Yeah.
does take a little bit of inward searching and discovery to find out like what is causing this. So I just want to help people through that process because it can be scary and overwhelming. And I just want to be there to, shine the light in the areas that need to be highlighted.
I've told this story a couple times. Back during the worst of this stuff involving the bug, I was at a conference at a center here in Las Vegas, and I had some miscellaneous security guard actually get verbally loud with me and physically close to me because he didn't feel I put my mask on fast enough after I took a drink. Made a big scene about it too.
Mhm.
Now, me being who I am, I got right up to him, told him to walk away.
Sure.
That's me. Some people might, oh my God, oh, I'm so sorry. No, I wasn't sorry because apparently I understood the Nevada state mandates better than he did, and I told him so.
Right.
What was interesting about that is it revealed, because for some reason it kept playing in my mind that happened. It's like nothing. It's like the guy was an ass and I told him off.
Right.
But it kept coming back, and it actually ended up surfacing a repressed trauma from my childhood.
Mm.
That came up, and wow, I dealt with it. So that doesn't mean I'm cured of it, but now I have this nice little compartment of this thing that has been gnawing at my success for years. So now I can recognize it, put a neon sign on it, move it over here, and say, this is the lesson I've drawn from it. This is the power I've gained from it. So when I find myself going down similar paths, I say, oh, that's this again. And I think that with your work, you do some of that as well, or help people recognize that and turn that stuff into power. You're not necessarily cured of it. It's not ever necessarily resolved, but now you can reposition it. And that goes into what they like to call breaking the cycle.
Correct. Yes. It's all about extracting the lesson and moving forward so that you don't repeat the same unpleasant patterns. You can recognize it, like you said, compartmentalize it, put it off to the side, and hopefully come up with a better strategy next time.
Beautiful, beautiful. So in your experience, what are 3 of the most frequently asked questions that you get from folks who are curious about you and your work?
Well, the first most common question is, so you're a couples counselor. And I am not a couples counselor. I do deal with a lot of people in romantic relationships, but I really primarily deal with the self. So, and keep in mind, we have relationships all throughout our lives to many different things: our environment, our food. Relationships are an integral part of every day. So it's not just limited to those. The second question I get very frequently is, how often should I schedule a session with you? And the answer is that it's really up to you. I mean, it depends on what you feel you need, but I also recommend nobody do it more than once a week. Because if you're going to be in a session, then you're going to have actionable items at the end of it. You're going to need a chance to digest, reflect, and try and put some of those things into action before we speak again.
Right.
And then finally, the last question I get most frequently is kind of like, so do I need to just like get rid of every negative and toxic person and situation in my life? And the answer is no. It's actually quite impossible to do that. But what I hope you can do is learn strategies with me and be able to implement them so that you can deal with those negative people without taking that on yourself. And also hopefully be able to take steps to further distance yourself and your relationship from that person. But the fact is, I mean, they're always going to be there. So let's learn some coping mechanisms.
So what are the questions you wish people would ask?
Oh, I love this one. So I wish that...
Oh, you took notes too.
I did.
All right.
I did. I wish that people would ask me, why do I always seem to repeat the same patterns? And part of that is because now they're already recognizing they are, and they're curious, like they're recognizing it, and now they want the help for it. So why am I repeating these? Because like you said, it goes way back and it's not all about you. And I think that's something a lot of people need to hear. The second one is, why do I stay in toxic relationships when I know that they're not good for me, when they're unhealthy for me? And it's because you're comfortable there. As uncomfortable as it is to feel those emotions, it's what you're used to. And change in any form is always going to be scary, even when it's for the better. So I really like to explore that. And because you're going to go through a lot of uncomfortable emotions as you grow, and that's okay. And you need to know that that's okay. And finally, how can I reestablish my self-worth? And that's my favorite one, because that's really where you start to go back to who you really are and who you're supposed to be. We're all born with self-worth. It's an inherent identity that we have. And the reason we start losing it is because people start picking it away. So how do you reestablish it? I can give you a lot of easy things to implement and then harder things as you go along, so you can start right away.
Awesome. So let's shift a little bit and give our listeners the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better in a few minutes we have left here. First of all, what would people who know you be surprised to find out about you?
All right, so fun fact about me, and this goes to my hypersensitivity. I'm more sensitive to noise and temperature and all that stuff. So fun fact is that I absolutely must wear my socks inside out so that I do not feel the seam across my toes, because that drives me nuts.
That's interesting. I thought misophonia was something. Now this is a new thing I've learned today. So what do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
Well, I really hope that they say that, I offered the compassion and the empathy that they needed when they needed it. And I hope that they say that when they thought no one else was around for them, I was there. I want them to feel like they always have either a sense of positivity or a sense of calm after we've had an encounter together. That's really what I want to leave people with.
Great. If you could go back in time and change one thing you did or one thing that happened, what would it be and why?
For me, if I could go back, it would have to be more so surrounding my financials. Yeah, I think it's a very common one for some people. I've just come to realize that I've had a lot of limiting beliefs surrounding money and financials, and it's something I'm continuing to work on, because I, as a coach, am always in progress of healing as well. And so even though there are other things that, I reflect on and I'm like, oh, I wish I could go back and do that differently, I wouldn't change having done it the way I did, because then I wouldn't be able to reflect to do it differently or better the next time.
Yeah. What famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And if you had the chance to do so, what questions would you have for them?
My childhood hero has always been Jane Goodall. I absolutely adore her. I wrote to her when I was a kid, and she wrote back, and it was like mind-blowing. But she really focuses on the importance of us connecting with nature and how important that connection is. And when we lose it, the fallbacks and everything that can happen. So what I would ask her is, simply please just give me some examples of your lived experience of what happens when we have that disconnect from our nature and our natural world. And then what steps can we take to get it back?
Exactly. So what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you find yourself in a challenging situation or having a tough time?
It's all the people that I've helped in the past. And there were ones that were really tough, and I was literally crying on the floor with people, who were just bearing their soul, being, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get past this? And I do it for them. And I do it for me too, because I was that person one time and I did need someone to lift me up. And I want to do that for other people.
Exactly. So finally, and I know that you have a special gift for us, which I'm going to endeavor to share in a minute, and our listeners will laugh when they know what I'm referring to. Right now, in general, what is one action you would love our listeners to take as soon as they finish listening to this, other than subscribing for more episodes, of course?
Of course, absolutely subscribe for more episodes. This is great. But I would say that you really need to start recognizing and dealing with your negative self-talk. So when you're going about your day, I use the example of, I spill some coffee and I go, oh my God, like I'm such an idiot here. I want you to realize first that you're saying something negative about yourself. And second, I want you to disrupt that thought by thinking 3 positive things about yourself. The brain is a muscle, and the way we use it most often is going to be the strongest part of it. So if you're constantly talking down to or about yourself, that's going to be the strongest. But if you start disrupting that with positive self-talk, that part will become stronger. And eventually you'll start to notice that the negative self-talk dwindles away.
Exactly. It's just a matter of what you focus on is what you attract, is how I interpret that.
Absolutely.
So this is fantastic. And first of all, thank you for joining us today. Before you go, I know you have a little something for us. So for all of our listeners, I encourage you to go to the link that you now see on your screen if you are watching the video version. If you're listening to the audio version, I'm going to spell it out in a moment very slowly. But I also encourage you to go to brilliancepluspassion.com and look at this episode's post. The link will be right there. What this is, it's a little gift that Terri has for you, and I'm going to read the description right now. Are you ready to get reacquainted with yourself and uncover what it is you're really looking for in your life? This series of assessments on your values and level of self-care, along with some excellent organizational resource tools, will do just that. And as an added bonus, you will also get access to the first chapter of Terri's book, which is called 7 Days to a More Positive You, where you'll get the chance to practice a daily affirmation, be guided through a reflection of how to relate it to your own life circumstances. So I told you 2 places to go to find the link. It's a bit.ly, so I'm going to say it real slow. It's https://bit.ly, the Libyan link shortener, /3 V as in Victor, T as in Thomas, Z as in Zebra, capital J as in Jacob, lowercase g as in Gregory, and H, capital H as in Halo. I don't know all of Alpha Bravo Charlie. I just know Alpha Bravo Charlie, and then the rest of them I kind of make up. But that is the link. Again, find this episode on brilliancepluspassion.com. You'll also see it in the description on the YouTube channel, and that's where you'll be able to. And if you're watching the video version of this anywhere, just look on your screen and type it real slow, and you'll get it. All right, so Terri Di Mauro, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, an education.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.